Alright, welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We are using the save ball team that I have for this week. I actually don't even think I'm going to bother upgrading Marnie, or not upgrading, but fixing her kit. I'm probably just going to, like, worst case scenario, if I start taking a bunch of losses, I'll make another save team with Nagi on it. The problem is that if I use another save team, it means that team is, well, this team is also susceptible to Sigurd, but any other save team that I make is going to basically have to be able to eat AoEs to, function. So, I don't know, it's, because there's no Gato in this season. I mean, yeah, I got Lumera, but not good enough, I want to say. So, unless I bring a team with both Nagis, but my other Nagi isn't like the greatest in terms of her kit build. She definitely needs some work. So I don't know if I'm prepared to do that currently. But this is the enemy team. Duma's gonna do his Duma thing and break my stuff, and then the other stuff that he does. Pretty interesting to mirror there. Not sure if that's the build that I would have quite gone for, but you can only do with what you have, I feel like this team is really an excuse for me to use Byleth. That's what it's been kind of boiling down to so far, and she's actually a ton of fun with her Refine and Remix, and also Merges Matter. But yeah, it feels like that's really what's going on here. No range units for me to really worry about. Just gotta be able to take out these melee threats one by one, and Byleth will definitely be able to do that. So just got to protect her, and also Veil. This is actually pretty similar to the map that I lost on because I forgot about covering Veil, but got to be more careful this time to avoid that from happening again. And we should be good. Set up in the plus formation, and then or as close to that as I possibly can, and then get going. Alright, so we're almost done with the setup here. Alright, well, let me, okay, final thoughts on Batgirl. I think, or my conclusion is that she is underwhelming. She doesn't do everything that I was hoping that she would do. I honestly, when she first came out, I was like, man, I want an enemy phase Felix with this unit. She can't really do it. I mean, you could probably support her to get her to do it, but I wanted her to just do it, out of the box, be able to enemy phase Felix. Okay. No, you can't do that. She can player phase him quite fine, but that's really, I mean, I have so many other units that can player phase Felix. Feels like an extra unit that does something that I already have other units that can also do that same thing. So it's like, why do I need this mythic? Well, because she's new and she'll probably age well in the future, and I don't know, I have a sneaking suspicion. Well, it's not even a sneaking suspicion, it will eventually happen. We will get a Miracle Emblem Ring because it was in the game, so we're definitely going to get it. It's just a matter of when, and I don't know, it's probably going to age, she's probably going to age similarly to Lumera, similarly to Lumera, in the sense that Lumera's stone terrain became so much more valuable over time in comparison to when she just came out. And I think that's what's going to happen to Herthvelger. Ooh, I got it that time. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's going to happen to her with the Miracle effect. I feel we're going to get a lot more units that have just Miracle built into either their weapon, or get the Miracle Ring from whoever has it. I think it's Roy. And then at that point, she's going to skyrocket in value because she's just going to be able to disable that in Light Dark Season. Again, it kind of depends on the units that will have the Miracle effect, because looking right now at Hell has the Miracle effect, but it's like whatever. And then also Air has it. Marnie is probably the only one that I can think of off the top of my head that has a Miracle effect that actually matters, where if you're just unable to take her out, it's going to pose a problem because of her bulk. But everyone else that comes to mind, because they don't have the defensive support or the defensive bulk to really just, take a couple of hits to make the miracle really matter, or be able to, take you out in the counterattack if they do have miracle. Like, let's say Celica, Ascended Celica, Ascended Air. Their miracle, while it is good, it's really more focused towards like player phasing, and it's not like as big of a problem as someone such as Marnie. So if they release more units in the vein of Marnie, or if people start giving like Emblem Ike the Miracle Ring, I can see that becoming a problem. Or not even Emblem Ike, maybe even God, what's his name? Felix? Maybe if people start giving the Miracle Ring to Felix, then I can see that becoming a problem in Light and Dark Season, because it will mean that these threatening units are a lot more difficult to take out. And that's what you don't want. You don't want units like Felix, or even, let's say, Sigurd, sticking around to get a follow-up attack and doing even more damage. So that's really where I see her Herstvelger's support becoming more beneficial. But as of right now, it really just doesn't do anything for my team. So I was at least hoping that she would get the Prayer effects so that she could cleanse my debuffs on player phase, so that I could use her as a tank support. But not even that. I mean, it's really underwhelming, disappointing what she's capable of. But again, she hits hard, so I mean, there is definitely value in that, the fact that she hits hard. So that's not to be ignored. So let's see how she performs when her bonus season comes around. It's next week, obviously. Bonus month begins, so it's going to be a whole month of her. So let's see how she performs into the units that they're going to be releasing. Interesting that this is another powerful blue melee unit. So blue is definitely skyrocketing in terms of strength right now. Just looking at the year that we've had red really just showing its supremacy. Green then came up with Nurgle, of course red with Ike, and now we're really seeing blue just close out the year. And that's typically the trend. Whenever for red to be strong, the blue units have to take a hit, and it's really unfortunate or annoying during that time period that you have weaker blue units. I was very surprised at how strong they're able to make the green units this year. Just being able to have green units that could compete with Emblem Ike, when you think about weapon triangle, the fact that Nurgle could, take out Ike is actually pretty nuts. Again, Nurgle is going to age very well. He's just going to keep getting better and better the more debuffs that are coming into the game. Not debuffs, but status effects that come into the game. But yeah, that aside, what else did I wanted to bring up? SDR is currently happening. I feel zero motivation to play. I don't know if I'm even gonna... I don't know, man. Maybe we'll see what happens come Sunday. Maybe I'll make a last-minute push. I'm currently in like Diamond B. I don't think I would need to win like a bunch of matches to actually make it to Master. So I don't even feel like it's worth it. It's such a pain to have your team get hard countered. So that's kind of why I don't really feel that it's worth the effort. But I don't know. Let's see. I haven't made up my mind yet. There's 4 matches. I have to play it. I'm going to play at least one that I have to. I'm going to, because rewards. So I don't know. See what happens there. If I'm able to, make a team. I don't know. Thor's remix and refine. Thor is looking really, really good. And then PM Master 1 is like looking like fodder. Attack Defense Excel is definitely something that I'm looking to pick up, or actually fodder to someone else. I don't know who yet. I don't think I have any spirit copies of him, but and also it really depends on... I might pull on his remix banner, because I think Attack Defense Excel is actually really good. And also I kind of want to go back in on the double special heroes banner that we got recently, because I'm looking to pick up maybe an extra copy of Potent from that dual Sharena. That looks like a good play before it goes away. That's like a couple days from now, or well, by the time that you're seeing this, I think the banner might be on its last day. I don't know. But I feel like that might be a good option to just get a copy of Potent from there. I did get a copy of Serena, but I have no idea what to do with her because we're gonna eat the Great Ether here. Even though Ather has his bird.
Great Ether!
14. That is insane. Yeah, Violet here has a terrifying amount of damage reduction. That is just insane. She really shouldn't be living that, but that's really what you need at this point. You need to be able to eat the Great Ether, and she does it fantastically well.
Where next?
Hardy bearing, of course, but yeah, I do have a copy of Dua Serena. I do not know what to do with her, which is crazy because she's like built for Gale Force, but I don't see myself using her for Gale Force. I mean, I'll use the extra actions, but I'm not going to give her Gale Force, I don't think. I think she'll end up being similar to Felix if I ever actually put her on a team. I'm also contemplating giving Armored Blaze to Summer Edelgard, just because I think it might work out okay. I think we're trending in that direction, so I think it might be a good equip on her. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that in the future. Does she have +1 movement? No, she has charge. So maybe she might actually do really well with the Sigurd ring. That's a thought that I have. Anyways, but yeah, not looking forward to SDR, but it's gonna get done, I think, at some point. Thor is definitely looking great. Pulls from that batch. I'm interested to see what they do with Guinevere, with her weapon refine, because I feel like mages are in a bad spot, or well, just range nukes in general. But when it comes to damage output, I feel like they're really kind of ignore me just taking out that Ike with my +10 Brave Violet. But I think overall mages range nukes. Kind of in a bad spot, so I'm interested to see how strong or what type of effects they give to Guinevere to make her good, because I think she's a competent nuke or nuke tank. But if I want to see how what IS thinks is a good way to make her better, because at least we should at least have some indication of what the ninja banner units will be like at that point, around there, I think. So I just want to see what IS is planning in terms of like how the nuke builds are going to be coming out from here on forward, because they really got to be either they're going to live things like the Great Ether, or they're just going to be bulky enough to just one-shot things. I don't know what direction they're going to go, but we'll see. I think also, not only does it allow her to tank the Great Ether, but it also allows her to tank the Ice Mirror from Fjorm. So if we're going to go in that direction, I feel like the flat damage reduction would be good on these ranged units. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what they do with Guinevere's Refine. Jill will probably be cool. You know, it's Jill. And then there really isn't much else on that banner that I have any high hopes for. Yeah, the units just seem really outdated. But I do really like Guinevere, so I am interested to see what type of refine she gets, and then also how that will translate to her legendary version, because yeah, she already needs it. What else is going? I don't know. There isn't really much else. Aside from that I'm like immediately interested in for the rest of the week/month. What other banners do we have? I think, well, Joel was putting out this tinfoil hat theory that we're gonna get an emblem unit as a summonable hero, which I don't think that's gonna happen, because that means that the emblem hero would be in the regular pool, and there's no way that IS is gonna do that.
Good idea.
So yeah, looking forward to the Mythic banner at the end of the month. Don't know what we're gonna get. A lot of people are saying that Tree Man Brute is gonna be an Astra Anima Mythic, and I can definitely see that happening. He looks like he would fit in well there, so I don't know. That's just some of the things to look forward to for right now, I guess. We're going to play another one. GG's. All right, we're taking on Clark for a second match of the day here, and we're going to go with the Sita team. Really, I kind of want to use Astra for this one to just have him tank some stuff to see what his matchups are like. I do think he performs fairly well into most things, but I have to get rid of the traps here first because positioning, I kind of want to get him pretty far up and then set. I think I want to go with Veil behind him. But yeah, I gotta get rid of the traps first before I get going. I can't stop raving about this Sita, man. She's so good with investment. We are up against a fairly stacked defense here. A lot of plus 10s. Pretty good team in my, just looking at it. I was considering trying to Gale Force this, but my Gale Force team, without Baby Golvig on the team, it just doesn't perform very well, and I typically just avoid trying to use it, because what it means is that I'm going to end up having to tank something. This is a very nice build. I'm going to end up having to tank something with one of my units, and I typically don't want to do. I don't like just tanking a hit from whatever range it is. Baby Golvig just gives me that security that I can just shut down a unit and not have to worry about it. So unless I'm able to get her back on the team, I'm probably going to try to avoid using that Gale Force team as best as I possibly can. Not that it's bad, you can definitely use it, or I can definitely use it as just safety measures, fail safe. I like having that, so yeah, we're going to go with Astra here. I mean, also, even if I use the Gale Force team, I'd probably have to start on Mer, and then she's pretty difficult to take out with Felix sometimes.
What?
So, yeah, that would be a whole thing. But yeah, let's get the turn, and then what I'll do is send Astra up there and see how... Oh. It's a Dancer Trap. How did I forget that these exist? Jeez. So it basically means that I didn't get the first turn to set up. That's unfortunate. I thought I was safe there, but no. No is the answer. I was not safe. Also, I don't think that Legoose Friend is such a good investment on these speedy ranged units. I really don't like it. I think you're better off going, or changing their stat distribution at the very least. But
I agree.
Can ask her, would he have been able to survive this AoE? Oh no. Alright, we've lost this. GG's, man, you got me. I completely forgot that Dancer Trap still existed. Alright, let's play another match here. This one's pretty free, so I'm gonna just use the Gale Force team since there's not much going on here. Probably a fishing team if... just looking at it, it's probably a fishing team. But we're gonna send the Gale Force team up here and then get the pots on the following turn. Something like this, I guess. Actually, no, I want to have my dancers in position. And Thor as well. I bet everyone that gave Thor flyer guidance, soaring guidance, is pretty pissed right now. Since he got the Omni guidance in her weapon refining. I wonder if they're like watching how we use the unit or these mythic units, because so far it seems that a lot of the refines have been kind of in line with how we've been using the units. Which is interesting. It feels like they're taking cues from the player base to try to improve the units along the line. But that also means that it's kind of difficult for them because there are some units that we just don't use, like Ather. So I guess that's kind of why he got the refine that he did get, because the refine, or at least the remix, looks like trash. It's probably going to be down to his weapon to see whether or not he can actually do any damage, which, again, I just don't see it happening. that being said, this is probably going to be the best setup. Pinette is going to be the one going in and doing all the damage and all the murdering. Also, I had to like take a break from Narcos Mexico because there was just too much murder. It's too much. I had to take a break, man, and yeah, they got real deep into like the history of Mexican drug cartels and how it evolved from like heroin, weed to cocaine. Yeah, real deep. They got real deep into it and how that whole thing started. Also, apparently there was like this whole election in Mexico in the 1980s or 90s that was rigged. And I was like, whoa, they were doing that back then and they're still doing it now. But I guess it shouldn't be that much of a surprise. Controlling the populist vote has always been a thing that ever since democracy became a thing. I mean, sometimes I really think about if it's actually even democracy when it's just two parties that you're continually voting between one or the other, but at the end of the day, they both end up doing the same thing. Is that really democracy, or are we just like fooling ourselves into thinking that it's democracy when it's really just a one-party system? Because a lot of the time, some of the like senators and leaders in the party, they go between the two parties just because they have benefits.
They will submit.
Switching sides sometimes.
Fine by me.
Like where I'm from,
I see.
it's like red versus orange. No, it's not red. It's green versus orange, and someone green will go over to the orange side every now and then because they are getting a better package. I guess you could call it. And it really just feels like, well, shared sentiment, I'm pretty sure, for a lot of people at this point, if you're like into like politics and stuff, that it really just doesn't matter who you put into office because they just do the same thing that the other person was doing. They either do it either the same or they do it worse, depending on how long they're in there for. But yeah, I was very surprised at the fact that I was surprised at how they depicted it. They literally just showed exactly what happened. Well, I'm assuming that they probably cut out a couple of parts here and there, but they showed the full process of how it looks like the Mexican government at the time fixed the election in their favor. And I was just like, whoa. That is crazy.
No choice.
Let's go.
And it also showed how they were just in bed with the Mexican cartel. And again, that is insanely crazy that these things happen behind closed doors that we the general public just are not aware of. And they have like huge repercussions for, just your overall standard of living or quality of life. Everything gets affected by the decisions that these people make that we put into power. And it was just so fascinating to watch. But man, I had to take a break. I went back to the safety of my high school anime dramas. Just because it's getting to be a little bit too much. I'm currently on almost at season 3. So season 3 is the last season of Narcos Mexico. And then after that, I don't know, I'm probably that should be enough time for me to like get halfway through most of the animes this season. So that's the plan. I kind of want to also go back and watch Code Geass because I feel like I have no idea what actually happened in that show. And I watched it like when I just started watching anime. That was one of the after I watched there is this whole thing about subbed versus dubbed, and then I started watching like Naruto dubbed, and I was like, man, this is great. I'm never watching subbed. Who even watched subs? And then I watched the sub, and I was like, oh my god, I get it. It's like you don't know what they're saying, but you can feel it, and it makes a world of difference. So yeah. That was my transitions to sub versus dub because Shippuden, a lot of Shippuden wasn't dubbed yet at the time that I was watching it. So I had to make the transition if I wanted to continue the series. It was either that or, figure out how to read it. And I wasn't going to do that. So after Naruto, I started watching Death Note, and that was also dubbed, but then to continue watching it, you had to go sub, which was the same thing. After that, I was like, all right, I might as well go all the way in on the sub, and Code Geass was one of the first ones that I watched fully subbed, and it was really good, but a lot of it went over my head because, well, I don't even want to say that, it's just I feel like I can't remember a lot of what happened because making the transition between watching what they're saying to actually reading what they're saying, it took a lot for me to, and I wasn't engaged in some of the things that happened. So I think I should probably go back and rewatch that and, you know, just to catch up. I don't know. Those are my ideas. GG's. See you in the next one.